Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we are here with MotoGP 22. Yes, a massive thank you to Koch Media and Milestone for sending me out a copy early of the game to make a couple of videos for you guys. MotoGP has always been one of those weird things where I've absolutely always wanted to get more into it, both the games and in real life, but for whatever reason or another, you know, maybe 2022 is gonna be that year. Now, quick warning for some of you guys that are expecting me to be any good at this game. That's not the case. Actually, in fact, today I'm going to go through and do some of the training little modes that have been added to MotoGP 2022 there as well. But I thought, you know, it'd be a good place to try and start learning on this game. Now, of course, the big feature that has come to MotoGP 2022 is the iconic 2009 season. Relive the most iconic moments of the 2009 season where we saw 4 of the best MotoGP drivers in history battle it out, or riders, sorry, I should say, for the championship. So maybe down the line, you know, if you guys enjoy these videos, we're going to jump into that as well there, because I want to do it as much just to sort of learn about the history of MotoGP as well there. And yeah, 2009, you know, you had Valentino Rossi, Casey Stoner, and I think it was, I can't, off the top of my head. Oh, we've clicked into it now. Let's see what it was about then, I suppose.
(2001), 2, 3, 4, 5 World Championships in a row. 3 with Honda, then the move to Yamaha and 2 more. Proving that the rider, not the bike, makes the difference. Proving perhaps that Valentino Rossi is the greatest motorcycle racer of all time. But then, 2006, machine problems, human errors, and injuries. While Nicky Hayden is on a roll, racking up victories, podiums and points, taking the contest all the way to the final race in Valencia. Holding his nerve to the end, the Kentucky kid seizes the crown as Rossi slips and falls. Loser. Well, what is it that racers say about second place? And now they're on him, the new breed. Younger, hungrier, faster, pressure like never before. Casey Stoner, the fastest rider Rossi's ever encountered. He wins 10 races in 2007. Rossi, just 4. A new low for the Italian. A stunning triumph for the Australian. Spain's Dani Pedrosa is the runner-up. In 3rd place, Valentino Rossi. 3rd, and hurt. 3 broken bones in his hand after a vicious crash in practice for the final race, caused by a machine problem. He makes it to the start in Valencia, but not to the finish. Another machine problem. Adding insult to injury, Yamaha signs Jorge Lorenzo as their second rider for 2008. For the future, in other words. Now the enemy is in the building. Lorenzo arrives in the Yamaha garage to find that Rossi's had a wall built down the middle of it to shut out his so-called teammate. But he can't build a wall on the track. Lorenzo takes pole at his first MotoGP race in Qatar. Easy. He's on the podium at the second race in Spain and wins the 3rd in Portugal. Easy. And then he crashes. And crashes. And crashes. And puts himself in hospital. But Casey Stoner is still there. After some teething trouble with the 2008 Ducati, the reigning world champion is going faster than ever. A 3-win blitz in mid-season, blocking Rossi's title charge. Time to fight back. Laguna Seca. A duel in the California sun. As close to a fistfight as you can get on a motorcycle.
Some of the passing manoeuvres were maybe a little bit too much and past the point of fair or aggressive.
We make a lot of overtaking, quite aggressive, but we never touch each other. My style to race is try to never give up. Anyway, I enjoy the battle.
Stoner and his team don't like it, but everybody else does. The Australian falters. 2 crashes at Brno and Misano. And worse, a wrist injury. Rossi is relentless. He wins 6 of the remaining 8 races. Stoner, 2. The Italian is king again, and making history. Only one rider, that other Italian god Giacomo Agostini, has ever recaptured the crown after losing it 2 years in a row. Agostini managed it once, in 1975, but he finished 7th the following season and retired the year after that. In 2009, Valentino Rossi sets out to win it again. A new record in his sights, and no thoughts of retirement in his head. There are only 3 problems. Jorge Lorenzo, Casey Stoner, and Danny Pedrosa.
Well, if that's not enough to get anyone hyped for this game mode, I don't know what is here on MotoGP 2022 there. That is quite possibly, I think, the best game sort of intro I've seen in a long time there. But yeah, that's going to be another video very soon down the line. But today, I think before we try and defend the crown for Valentino Rossi and everything that's got, we probably need to jump into some tutorials and try to get a bit better at the game. So I'm going to jump into some of the basic tutorial mode sessions here and see what we can do. Now, I've already done the bike control one, but I accidentally did it with auto braking, so I think that's probably going to be the place we try and jump into first. In terms, though, of AI and things like that, you can see all of those settings there. Auto brakes, I'm going to try and turn that off in a moment there, and I generally, yeah, I'm not good at MotoGP, so we'll wait and see as to what we can do. If the bike skids blatantly, no, we're not even going to get a chance to read that, I suppose. But here we are then, back at Jerez. Obviously, I know this track from Formula 1, but still gets used a lot in MotoGP nowadays, so very intrigued to see how we're going to get on. Now, can I change the auto braking then before we jump into this? It doesn't look like we can. We'll let it just finish off the autopilot, and then we might be able to jump into it, and you guys might be about to witness the worst lap you'll ever see here at Jerez. Doesn't look like we can. Let's just wait and see then. The auto braking therefore is still on, but it gives us a good chance to try and learn the handling model there as we immediately get a warning for track limits. Of course, yeah, we've got the traction control and everything like that we normally would get on a MotoGP game as we head up the hill in towards turn 1. Hard on those brakes there, of course. Yeah, not much grip on those Moto 3 bikes there. It's a traction control kicking in as well. Just trying to keep us in line. I mean, these things feel fast enough. I can't even begin to imagine what it's going to be like when you sort of get into one of the proper MotoGP bikes from the top split there. But that's sort of what I love on these games, you know, the fact that on MotoGP you've got the 3 and the 2 classic cars as well. I'm pretty certain you used to get the Red Bull rookies. I don't know if you get them as well on MotoGP 2022. I'll have to double check that one down the line. But yeah, they were always quite good fun as well there, and just sort of that good little progression, that ladder up through that you can get on these games as well there as we break down in towards the hairpin. Of course, this is where Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve came together all those years ago. I am going to have to bring F1 references to this because, like I said, my knowledge of MotoGP is as good as non-existent. It must be said there as we head through the second half of the lap. Just trying to keep it tipped in fairly clean and tidy, and trying to keep the nose planted as well. That you do not want to clip the curbs. And there we go, my first fall off here on MotoGP 2022 as well. That, to be honest, I'm surprised I almost made a full lap, but if ever there was a reason not to use the curbing. Nope, apparently it was getting loose before we'd even done that, so that's reassuring. Let's just wait and see then. Yeah, there we go. So clearly, yeah, quick flicks of direction, not the way to go on these Moto 3 bikes there as we try and chuck it in through the next 90-degree right. It's begun, I think, is kind of my worry there. Perhaps, yeah, this is just going to become the normal now for me. Let's just try and get around these final couple of turns then, and get back round to the line. Nice and easy. Tip it in. It used to be the chicane there, but not in MotoGP. Just got these two quick flicks to the right-hand side there as well. Again, like gets very, very loose and lively. But down in towards the final hairpin, I think the previous lap I'd done was a 2:04.5. Let's see if we can find any... Oh, we're going to find bags of time over that. So already improving then, by the looks of it on MotoGP 2022. It's going to be a 1:55.3, which is a whole lot better. Now, auto brakes off then. Choose your preferred settings and continue to the next session, or get back on the track and try your adjustment. No, let's jump in to challenge number 2. So this one then is going to be ideal trajectory and curve indicators. Learn to use the brake and throttle at the same time by following the aids shown on track. Complete the first lap following the ideal trajectory, and then a second lap with curve indicators. At the end of the 2 sessions, you can choose which trajectory aids to enable. And we're going to be heading to the all-new version of the Red Bull Ring there. Of course, yeah, MotoGP having to put a slight change to the circuit there after a couple of very, very close near misses over the last couple of years. Let's head out there and see what we're going to be capable of. So, yeah, 26 degrees, 40 degrees track temperature, and you can see the chicane on the other side of the circuit. So, first lap's going to be done with the full racing line there, and this is quite a cool little game mode. You know, try and help you learn which assists you want and which ones you don't on the game there as well. As we're going to, well, I mean, we do know the Red Bull Ring as well, like the back of my hand. I'm not using the brakes properly, am I? I don't think. How do I use the front brake a lot more? Perhaps I should have left the auto braking on. Perhaps that would have been wise, I think. What? I'm clicking the wrong button. But I don't know which one to click. Oh no, what have I done to myself? Right, let's just quickly pause. Options. Controls. Rear brake is... No, on what's the rear brake on a controller? Is A. Right, okay. Right, now we can actually get the thing stopped. Right, okay, right. Now we're starting to learn then. Let's just try and head through these final couple of corners there. Of course, do not want to lock up the rear brakes on these bikes. But at the final corner then, let's now see. Now we know which buttons to press. Whether we can get this thing slowed down in towards someone, of course. Hard on the front. Use a little bit of the rear brake as well there. And look at that. There we go. Through turn 1. All clean and tidy. It's super rewarding when you get it hooked up there. But normally, of course, yeah, you head off to the right. This time around, we're going to head through the left there. And you actually... Well, you don't do that. You definitely want to get off the rear brake, I think, earlier than I was allowing myself to there. Come on, tip it in, tip it in, tip it in, Matt. Slow and steady. Early on there. We haven't got any times to chase or anything like that, but that's an intriguing little chicane there. I don't think I want to see F1 use it. As, oh, just running a bit wide at the top of the hill. Luckily no sausage curb there on the exit, because that, there, I must admit, I've never been a fan of that curb on the Formula 1 games. But anyway, heading back down the hill. See, this one's always a horrible braking zone. You can brake super late though on the bikes. Not that late. Yeah, definitely still having to brake a bit earlier than the game reckons you need to there. But I can just feel the back end slipping out. How on earth am I meant to get that stopped into there? I think, are we just locking up the rear brakes still? Let's try braking a little bit earlier then. That seemed really, really weird there. That time around I broke 10 meters earlier and seemed to be able to stop 40 meters before. But it's all part of the learning process, I suppose. Right, anyway, down in towards the tricky double right-hander. Do not want to use that rear brake and turn at the same time. Sorry, down in towards the double left-hander even, I should say. Yeah, just trying to tap the rear brake there just to get the nose scooped. And do not want to try and let the back end slide. I mean, this corner, yeah, normally, you don't even sort of view it as a corner. But you definitely do on a motorbike here. But anyway, down in towards the final couple of turns. Then now we head in towards the double right. We're slowly getting our eye in, though. We're slowly coming together here. I'm sure some of you guys will be absolute MotoGP sweats there, and you'll be laughing at just how bad I am at this. You know, a lot of you guys say, you know, I like to believe I'm pretty good on F1, but MotoGP is a whole other kettle of fish there. Let's jump into the second one then and see if we can try and find a bit more time there. Indicators are going to be interesting to see, so it sort of shows us the clipping points that we're aiming for and sort of when we can try, we're sort of gunning for on the exit, and yeah, how much speed you want to try and carry through the corners here. So let's just see what this is all about then. You know, if the trajectory is a little bit earlier, that'll be alright, but yeah, still just trying to focus on getting my eye in again. The big thing for me, you know, when you sort of come from cars onto motorbikes is how early, of course, you have to brake through the corners. Because you're so used to just being able to brake, you know, like, for example, into turn 1 at like 75 metres in a Formula 1 car. In this, pretty much all the braking zones are doubled. So we try and tip it in. Yeah, all the braking zones are pretty much twice as big as you would expect there. So just trying to learn everything like that. You're basically completely having to relearn what to do. You know, sort of trying to, you know, it's a track you recognise, but it just immediately then feels so alien as well there. But so far, so good. We're navigating our way around. I must admit, I'm actually quite a fan of these trajectory points. Mainly for the fact they're telling me to brake a lot earlier, which is kind of what I need, I feel like, at the moment. Perhaps I'm still, yeah, into some corners getting a little bit optimistic with where I want to stop as we head down the hill. Then let's see where the trajectory reckons this time around. See, look at that. That's way better. Way more roughly where I believe I need to stop as we try not to overshoot the corner. And yeah, I feel like I'm working my way in. I'm getting there with these bikes. Down, double left-hander next up. Again, just trying to tap the rear brake. And then again, you don't want to use too much of either brake, to be honest, there, because again, you'll either just high-side it into the corners and get a bit of a tank slapper on as well. Right, come on. Final couple of corners. Can we survive a much better lap here of the Red Bull Ring? I feel like I've done a whole lot better. This is a good sign. 2 more corners to go. Final big braking zone of the lap. Tip it in. Don't run wide on the exit. Of course, normally you can use all of the curbing in MotoGP as well. There in final corner. Looks like we are going to be able to get the lap in. What time is it going to be, though? We're aiming for a 1:48. It's going to be a 47.5. So we have just about done it at the end of the session there. And I definitely want my curve indicators on. I don't think I'm ready to go with nothing just yet. Especially as there's a lot of circuits that I don't know on the calendar. But yeah, let's see what's in then for challenge number 3. We're getting through these. This is the penalty system then. As a set regulations that assigns the rider penalties if they go off the track. Depending on the regulations, tolerant or severe, and the seriousness of the infraction, the rider may receive a time penalty in seconds or have their lap time invalidated. Race the sector without cutting the corners. And we're at Kota. Oh, dearie me. This one's going to be a bit of a challenge, I fear. Load times, though, are impressive. I don't think I'm running this on an SSD, so very, very impressed with just how quick it's loading here. But yeah, we've got to try and make it through the first sector of Kota without cutting a corner, which is going to be very, very difficult. And we just ran a little bit wide there. So 1:15 then, it's estimating, is the time we're going for. Let's just wait and see then. I think it might take us a couple of attempts. So we just try and learn everything as well still. Sort of new, well, I say it's a new circuit. Of course, I do know Kota as well pretty well. That bump on the outside of turn 1 is absolutely lethal, I'm sure, on a motorbike there, as we try and put the power down through turn 2. Just a little bit of a lift to try and get the bike rotated back over. That's probably going to hurt. in the morning there. That was complete high side as we went in towards turn 3. And this is the thing, it's so much about smoothness on the bike. You know, you've really got to try and glide it through the corners as we try and keep it between the white lines, there or thereabouts. That's most of the first sector navigated, but perhaps we've got to make it down to the bottom of the hill. Come on, I feel like I'm just tiptoeing through at the moment. We're definitely not maximising it. Haha, that was very, very close to getting some sort of warning. Just so difficult to try and get your eye in, you know, where you're trying to tip the bike in. Everything like that, because it just feels still so alien to me. But, you know, again, a massive thank you to Milestone and Koch for sending it over. So, you know, fingers crossed I can sort of learn how to ride a motorbike there. Down towards the line, we just miss out on the time, though, on a 1:15.2, but I think they think it's going to let us have it. Tolerant is definitely the way I'm going to have to go there, though. Not prepared for anything like that. Long lap penalty, though. This, I think, is one of the coolest things I've seen in MotoGP. So the LLP is a lane that riders are forced to use following a serious infraction. Race the sector, crossing the long lap penalty line without leaving the track limits. And yeah, for this one, we're at Mugello, which I'm pretty certain is down at the final corner, I want to say, for the penalty. I'm loving this, though. Just helping me sort of learn the ropes here on MotoGP is super, super important. So, yeah. Oh, no, long lap penalty isn't at the final corner, then. It's at about the 4th last turn. But we've just got to try and navigate our way through and then sort of see if we can work it out and try and see it. Because, I mean, it is quite cool, obviously, when, you know, F1 goes to some of the tracks, you know, that do correlate with MotoGP. The fact you can see, like, example, Austria just then, Kota as well, and I want to say Silverstone as well. You can see it there, obviously, of the LLPs. But, right, let's just try and sort of see where we're aiming for. That was not quite exactly where I was going for. We're going to have to use a bit more of the brake. And driving Miss Daisy, I think... Are we getting that? Does that count? I don't know if that's count or not. But anyway, flat out. Is it? I think it's given it to me as... That was not me. That was not me through there. I think we'll leave it on assisted for the moment, just because I'm going to have to drive, yeah, like I said, like a grandma. Or ride, even, I should say, like a grandma through those corners. Anyway, last challenge up, then, of the basic sessions. We're going to have to learn how to pass. But everything you've learned so far in practice, challenge your teammate in a head-to-head and cross the line first. Take advantage of the opponent's slipstream, overtake them at the most opportune moment, and resist their attacks. And yeah, we're back at Jerez for this one. But in the Moto 2 bike, which is going to be a whole lot more loose and lively. But looking forward to it. Final challenge of the day here. And have I learnt what to do? Oh, these sound good. I'm a fan of these. 10 red lights and it's going to be lights out and away we go. We'll immediately jump into the lead there. Listen to that. Oh, these sound brilliant. Shame I completely ignored the racing line in towards turn 1 there. These sound incredible, though. Let's get on the brakes. Or get punted by our teammate. Oh, come on. I've just got no idea sort of what risks I can take with these things, though. Running a little bit wide there, but... Oh, these... I'm not commentating them, just because I'm enjoying listening to these things. I mean, listen to that! It sounds brilliant! What do the MotoGP bikes sound like on this game? Fair play. Sound design team deserve a raise. I mean, I'm loving it so far. I haven't found anything wrong with it. As we go right around the outside there, a little bit of wheel contact between myself and our teammate there as we head down the back straight, breaking at about the 200 though. As we head down, putting the inside foot towards the floor, but yeah, now we're starting to get our eye in a bit more. It's one of those games I feel for me where I kind of have to play it a lot and quite frequently before I'm able to sort of really get the hang of it. I think that's probably why I'm fairly decent at F1, and that's about it. Because of course, yeah, I play those games pretty much every day, I think, nowadays. But just starting to build up a little bit of an advantage. This is, of course, where we went over. I was about to say where we went over last time, and we've gone and done exactly the same thing through there. Right, get it straightened up, and then get on the brakes as we head in towards the final sector of the lap. Yeah, really, really have to use that brake, but feel like we're able to learn a lot more about the bike as well because of it, you know. One of those difficult things to learn, but super, super useful in the long run. He's using up all the curbing. So we head down in towards the final corner there. We've still got a little bit of a gap to our teammate. Won't take the LLP. And round in the final corner then. Up towards the line. Put the power down. Listen to the bike sing. 200 kph there, and we're going to do it. That is going to be the basic tests all done and dusted then here from MotoGP 2022. And there we go then, AI difficulty. I've got no idea sort of what we should run, so I'm going to set it to about 70 to begin with. And of course, yeah, when we jump into a career mode down the line, we'll tweak that around a whole lot more there. But too sure why it hasn't given us any of... I'm guessing it was just because we were learning those and you can't really sort of complete the challenges as well there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Like I said, just having a little bit of fun on MotoGP 2022 there. Again, a massive thank you to Koch and Milestone for sending me out a copy of the game early to play for you guys. We'll be back very, very soon, jumping into some of the more advanced sessions as we slowly but surely learn our way here on MotoGP and get ready to try and relive that 2009 season. And of course as well, maybe do our own little career mode.